May our hearts be full like our dreams tonight.
My initial expectations in the Amazon was actually being scared. You know, the Amazon's full of life. The Amazon's full of so much power.
Well, first it's the Amazon, so I think it's going to be incredibly beautiful, full of wildlife, bugs, obviously. As far as the actual community goes, I expect Dana to be very sustainable and community oriented.
It's big trees, like lush, kind of foresty looking stuff, and
to be surprised, to feel uncomfortable, but to find a home in a place where I've never been before.
To be almost overwhelmed and confused by the vastness of the Amazon. I wasn't sure what to expect.
I really hope to meet the community and hear people's stories. That's something that I always really enjoy on any trip that I go on, and I hope I'll be able to do that this trip.
My philosophy is to really have no expectations. I kind of want to go in with a clean slate. It's really hard to do because obviously I have kind of these different predispositions on what I'm going to see or how I'm going to be affected by life here in Brazil.
Bugs, to be honest. I'm not really fond of bugs.
my expectations were pretty wrong, which I guess is good.
It felt like I was in like the center of the forest. There's trees everywhere. The sounds were like stuff like I heard straight off of, like videos on YouTube where like they give you that playlist to like fall asleep to, like the rainforest sound. It literally sounded like that. It was crazy. And like I was walking through and I was just amazed by it. First of all, what I saw and what I heard.
My expectations have dramatically changed. I'm not really scared of the Amazon. It's more of an understanding. You know, it's more of a possession at home, and you know, I just really can't really describe it. You know, you just got to see for yourself and see the beauty of the power and the happiness it entails.
Well, I didn't realize how much outside like supplies they're receiving, but it was really cool to be a part of the process to make them become a more sustainable community, like completely self-supporting, I guess, especially with the fish factory, making their own fish food and not depending on the commercialized, really expensive products. And obviously it was just as beautiful as I imagined, if not more.
I went in expecting to be surprised, and I was surprised most of the time. Sometimes I wasn't. I was definitely uncomfortable at times, and I found a home, and I hope to come back someday.
Slowly but surely I began to understand the weather patterns. When the wind would suddenly either stop or pick up, the rain would be there within a minute or so. You could see nature change around you, and you could understand why and how you can read it, which was a very powerful feeling to have, to understand nature around you and all of its power.
How blown out of proportion my expectations have been. We went on an 8.5-mile hike through a community, and it was just so cool to like see all that growth around me. It's not something that I get to experience a lot back at home, and it was really nice to be able to see that aspect of Brazil. I also really appreciated meeting the community members. I loved hearing their stories, working side by side, laughing, dancing. We would like, every time we would sift soil or anything at any of the work sites, I would love every single moment of it, and that's something that I'll remember. Even if we don't speak the same language, like we were able to create a bond that only like smiling and laughter can create, and that one-on-one connection and sharing our stories really meant the world.
They've changed a lot. I mean, Santarém in general, when we first got here, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little sketched out by the kind of rundown roads, people just, unorganized streets all over the place. I was honestly sketched out by the people here, but as soon as I had kind of that first communication, that first contact with them, I realized that they're genuine people. Everyone's waving, you know, you walk by, you smile at them, everyone's kind of intrigued with us, the Americans. They're really not used to seeing us, but it's a curiosity, and it's something that's not threatening at all. You know, they were happy to see us. They were waving, you know, giving us thumbs up left and right all over the place. And then we left for Ana, and even that was a culture shock. We got used to Santarém over like 3 days, and then we go to Ana, which is the center of the rainforest. You know, a community that's like, you know, 300-400 people, and the people are the same way. You know, they're extremely kind of welcoming. So that, I think, was a huge shock for me. It was just how willing, how excited they were to kind of communicate with us. It really had a huge impact on me. I got really close to some of the people, a lot of people there, and I hope to carry those relationships on for as long as I possibly can.
Enough, they knew about the environment to an extent that I couldn't really comprehend. They could look at a tree and they knew what it was and they knew what it was used for. And while I was peering through the forest, hopping along the trails and they were giving us a tour, it made me really think, like, how did they know that the milk from this tree would cure this? And it's just years and years of this oral tradition and this oral knowledge that really fascinated me. And some of the things that they used their natural resources for was the honey. They use it as a natural antibiotic, and they use it for allergies. Also, the tree milk, they use it for clearing the young lungs and mucus. And then for the Brazil nut, it has qualities in it that promote healthy prostate health. And so, whereas we, as Western civilization, are very inclined to go to a pharmacy and trust the knowledge that a doctor has, we ourselves have no knowledge. But as a community as a whole, they all know what to do in this situation, and so they are all aware of what needs to be done if anything happens.
Like our drinks tonight, may we sing.